All right, welcome back everybody to the morning live stream. We got an awesome show locked and loaded for you today. We're going to break down the exact topics that are moving the charts right now, and we're going to dig into the setups that actually matter for swing traders this week. So grab a cup of coffee, hit that like button if you're here live, and let's get straight into it. All right, everybody, good morning and hope you're doing okay. Let's get a quick audio check here and say our good mornings here. How's everybody doing this morning? Let me know if the audio is clear or not. If not, I can make an adjustment. All right, so let's see. Awesome, sounds good. Just wanted to make sure it's loud enough and clear. Quite a bit of stuff going on in the news today. Well, we all know that Trump paused the Iran strikes and claims that Hormuz deal is close, but there was one headline this morning that more ships are being struck, and I'm gonna pull that up in just a second. But the market is pretty much holding well, so the market doesn't seem to be reacting to the news. Oil, on the other hand, is still below 80. It peaked above a little bit earlier, but it's back down. And uh, in the pre-market, we're up almost 1% on the Qs, and of course, part of it is probably tied to Palantir's earnings, and it's up 15% this morning. So let's take a look here. Q2 revenue surged to about 1.94 billion. All right, let's continue here. So, SPY breaking out, and look where we stopped. We are right here near the all-time highs. I mean, this is pretty crazy here. No, I mean, if you told me this would have happened, this was gonna happen a couple days ago, I would have been like, yeah, it's possible, but it's insane. Look at that insane move on the SPY. Um, these times are really insane. Markets are acting really crazy, and things are unstable. But even when things are melting down, you get face ripping rallies to the upside. So take what you can, but right now we got a solid move up to that point of control here, which I mentioned in the past, I'm sure like 2 or 3 videos. This is acting like a magnet. Now that we've broken out of this channel, this is acting like a magnet, pulling us up to the top here. And it's going to be a moment where we're either going to reject or we're going to break through. Um, it's anybody's guess. I mean, you all just saw how the SPY ripped to the upside. The Qs could do it too. But it all depends on semis, memory, and that whole story. We got SanDisk earnings today, I believe. Let's see. No, on the 5th. On the 5th after the close. This one is going to be a market mover, in my opinion, and it's rebounding. I'm still hesitant to pick up any, memory right now. We're stuck down here. And, compare that to the Qs where the point of control was. This is very steep. Like, if the Qs recover, yeah, we might see SanDisk come back right back up. All right, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Where are we all tuning in from? All right, I guess it's still early, not too many early birds here. Let me know in the comments if you want any ticker analyzed. What's up, Virginia? All right, let's take a look at some more stocks here live. I'm just taking a look here for the first time this morning. HP, and this one I brought up past two videos. Here's what happened. We had let's go down to the hourly. We got this chop here sideways, and I was saying, like, we got this trend line here, we got this double bottom, and this is looking like it's compressing and getting ready to rip to the upside. So yesterday it came back up to that same area where we had resistance up here, and I figured, well, actually, before that, we had a dip, and I figured on the dip, I want to load up, and then it went straight up same day. So pretty decent move here. Really happy with it, and I think we continue up even more. 54 is my target. The reason being is this is where we had the most volume here. So the next area of resistance should be around 54, 55. All right, let's see what else is going on. Okay, now we got people coming in. Nice. Good morning. I guess we started it a bit too early here. We got people from Vermont, Florida. Let's see what's going on out. Good morning from the UK. Welcome. Wisconsin, what's up? Hey, Miguel. How's it going? Good morning. Oklahoma. All right, let's start breaking down. We got main trader here asking about IBM. Let's take a look at IBM. Let's go over to the daily here, and yeah, I got my alert set here at about 230, 229, 230. We got this massive overhead gap here, and I think it eventually gets filled, but the question is when. So I just been waiting to see if it's just going to chop around here or if it's going to break out. Now, looking here on the anchored volume profile, you got this node on the right side. And this is where, we had a lot of trading. This area here, this area here. So we got overhead resistance. So treat this as a, breakout play or a fail. And it's bouncing around here yet. So right now I'm just being patient, and if the alert goes off, we got a heck of a lot of upside here, 25%. I'd be happy to pick up some options on this one. All right, everybody. Hope you're having a great morning here. Let me know how the audio is. Can always make some adjustments, raise the volume, change things around. Good morning from Maine. What's up, Ghost? Ghost Morn. All right, guys. So that's IBM for you this morning. And let's take a look. Let's look at the Palantir Oracle chart. This one was on my radar the other day. Well, it's been on my radar for a while as it's been completely being obliterated from top to bottom here, and everybody trying to catch this falling knife. And I'm sure we got a lot of bag holders down here. Now, it's beginning to really put in some momentum to the upside. This is a clear change in character here. And we got this lower low, lower high, and we're coming up on this lower high. If we can breach this area, probably going to pick up either an August lotto for 160. The market's running fast. We're back into that mode where the market we get big moves pretty fast. So that's why I like to stay in the market. You don't know when the next move's going to come, but got to manage your risk and stay on top of the trend. Now, this gives us, if Oracle can break out here, and we got enough room till earnings, we have about 14% here, I think. Getting in my morning coffee, morning caffeine. Keep this show going. All right. And big one this week is going to be SpaceX. A lot of people are going to be talking about this one because we got earnings, and it's going to be a make or break moment for SpaceX here. We're going to see if money starts coming in after earnings. We're going to have that, I believe, the unlocks after earnings, and then that's likely when institutions will make a decision after earnings. Do we want to get in or do we not want to get in? However, right now it's looking like it's in the short term in reversal mode here. If it can breach this area around 118, 116, 118, I think we get a nice move to the upside. But of course, earnings is a coin toss. And man, IPOs are rough sometimes. What can I say? Coinbase, there is some hope for Coinbase here and some hope for crypto, but we got to see a bit of a move. Bitcoin inching up again. We'll see. Coinbase after earnings took a nosedive here back down to this double bottom. Now we got a triple bottom. One more candle here. I want to see this start coming up, filling this gap, and then maybe we can talk about a breakout. Picked up a starter position yesterday here and, chopped around. If it breaks down here, then all bets are off on Coinbase. Good morning from Israel. How's it going? GLW Corning. Yeah, this one was this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Man, I had this on the watch list, and then I guess I stepped away and this whole madness happened over the past couple weeks or so. Let's see. We came down all the way here to this support area, right? We got a nice bounce and we're getting a reversal. And if you zoom in here, we had this resistance area, right? Right there at 146. And once you break through that resistance area, sorry, I'm having to turn off my alarms. I'm up earlier today than usual. Once you start to reverse through this area, then you can call it a breakout to the upside. Call it a reversal. Right now, this is what's happening exactly in the pre-market. We have broken the trend. We got a nice pop. Now, would I chase here? That's up to you. I personally like to see a little bit of a fade in on the open before I load up. You get a better entry off of that. And then off the 146, 147 level, this is your support. And if you can scoop some up here near support, and then now you have limited downside because you can stop out much faster if you want to. And I don't mean like a big rollover. You don't want to buy into something that's rolling over, but you want to see something that's, fading a bit, and then buyers start stepping in. Then you're like, okay, we got uh, buyers here holding this up. Then, you pull the trigger. That's just how I approach my trades. Like to be I like to see how it's moving throughout the day, even though on swing trading, usually locked into the daily time frame, but sometimes you want to zoom in and see what it's done on the intraday to refine your entries. All right, what else is going on? Okay, let's talk about Reddit here. Reddit, oh boy. So we were trading this in Discord, and uh, we tried to catch a bounce here off of this one, and it began fading. So stopped out on the rest, caught a little bit of profit, but we are back down here at this point of control. Nice area to load up on, but 3-day rule here. Wait for the dust to settle, because this could still, chop, come down, come back up. But, ideally you want to see it come back into this channel. You're going to have a bit of resistance here, and you want to see how it acts once it starts coming up. So if you look on the left side, you're going to see right here, this is our current resistance area, minor resistance. So once we start breaking through this, a bit more constructive, but it's volatile. So I would personally just play it small size here, and to limit my risk. And of course, not financial advice. You got to do your own research on all these trades. This is just how my thought process, how I approach things. Good morning from Malaysia. That's awesome. How's it going? Malaysia is on my to-do list, travel to-do list. So, okay. So let's see here if we got anything going on in the news. We got Amazon crossing a $3 trillion mark, and Amazon chart is crazy. We're going to break it down in just a second. And that was off of AWS and AI cloud demand. And it says here that the narrative is centers on it as a key hyperscaler winner. Yep, makes sense. Top two, you got Palantir surging after beating estimates and raising guidance on AI platform demand. The story is faster commercial and government monetization. And we got a rebound in Meta, focused on return to AI ad tools and operating leverage. Investors are weighing capex concerns. Not much going on really this morning aside from the Iran situation, which is constantly unfolding. And let's see if we can pull up some headlines from this morning. And let's see here if I can. I'm going to flip my screen over, and this side is blocked. So Iran is demanding inbound control and outbound oversight over the Strait of Hormuz. I'm going to say that again in case you missed it. Iran is demands Hormuz inbound control and outbound oversight. So they're practically saying they want to control the whole thing. And and I guess that's negotiations not going so well. I might see a cup and handle on Broadcom. Let's take a look at Broadcom here. I do not see a cup and handle. Sorry. Cup and handles have quite a. I mean, is this what you're referring to right here? Not the best cup and handle in my opinion, but yeah, cup and handles are like a true cup and handle happens over there are quite a few factors for a true cup and handle, and it's too early in the morning for me to try and even remember what they all are. But it typically happens over longer time periods. Shorter time periods here, just from a swing trading perspective, longer time frames for cup and handles to form, and you have to look at the volume, and there's all sorts of stuff involved. I don't typically try and call out cup and handle unless it's really staring me in the face, and in this case, it's not. What I see here is we got this like triangle here or ascending wedge, and we got a bit of a breakout. So depends on if we can hold this trend line here or if it's going to break down. I wanted to load up on Broadcom yesterday, but I was just rushing in, buying so many positions yesterday off the open. And I was like, hey, if this market pulls back on me, I don't want to be holding too much. But Broadcom was one of those on the list, and it's doing well. I don't think it's too late to get in on Broadcom if, if it holds here. If it starts forming a base off of this trend line, that could set up kind of like a new base here for us to start working our way to the upside. And we got this massive gap here all the way up to 474, 475. So Broadcom is on the list, and I might pull the trigger on it today. I want to see how it closes. Does it fade back into the channel? I mean the triangle here. More coffee needed. More coffee needed. Okay. Uh, let's take a look at NVIDIA. Let me know. Let me know what are you guys and girls thinking about the market here. Let's take a look here. Is this really gonna blow off to the top here? You got, I don't know if it was Tom Lee was saying 8,000 by year end or something crazy like that. If if they're really just speculating that this is the bottom here and we get an equal move to the upside, if that's the theory here, some kind of measured move, that would be absolutely bonkers. Not calling for that. I think we got too many headwinds right now. Oil, energy prices, yields, the yen. The yen is problematic. I'm trying to piece together, if what they're doing is actually going to help or if it's actually going to be bad, because even with all the efforts that they've been putting in to stabilize the yen, you got two governments trying to stabilize the yen, of course, Japan and the US, and it's still dropping. So that signals to me that there's some kind of trouble here. I'm no expert in currencies, and Forex, but keep an eye on it because it impacts the market. And look at that. Just as we were speaking, The Qs are punching through. Uh, I gotta be honest here. Like, I did not think this was coming, this kind of level of move, but the bears are sweating. If there are any shorts right now, they're covering today. If anybody held short, and I know that some people had their short thesis about the market rolling over here, and they're like, "I'm sticking to my shorts," right? But e- when the market shifts, you either take a step back and say, "Hey, I'm not sure what the market's doing. I need to reassess here," or you can hold on to your, you know, whatever bias you have, and the market is either proves you right or terribly wrong, and you suffer the consequences. Right now, I'm not seeing any slowing down. We have a big gap up here to the point of control. I would be leaning towards a fade back right off the open to fill this gap. This gap is going to get filled. I don't think this gap is going to get left behind. Highly unlikely. Maybe on some stocks that are, excuse me, like big runners, but on the indices, especially on the Qs, you rarely see a gap left behind. Look at all these gaps here from May. We thought we would never fill these. We were heading to the moon. AI was going to save the economy. It's going to save everything. But then, but then we came back and filled these gaps. So, you leave a big gap, especially like this, you're going to come down and fill it. So possibly, I'm going to think about either trimming some positions or I'm still long. I still think the market we're getting some really crazy velocity here. This might just be a better way, or not necessarily a better way, but just another way that could be done is just keep holding on to my longs, or maybe trim a little and buy some triple Q puts as a hedge, not as a bet that the market's going down, but just as a hedge in case we fade off the open or fade into the rest of the week. Highly probable scenario is we come up top, we bounce around here for a bit, form a base before we come back up. That's if the market stabilizes. If the market does not stabilize and we get more of that, you know what show that we had last week, then up to the top and then back down, right? Or up to the top and retest of the trend line. This is also a very highly likely scenario. Now, I'm not sticking to any one bias about what I think about the market's going to do. I'm laying out all the scenarios so when it starts playing out, you can start noticing it for yourself and decide how you want to act on it. So that's pretty much how I see the Qs here. Probably might fade this off the morning. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about the move in the triple Qs? Is this a move to fade off the open or just hold on for the ride here? It's going up much higher. We got our next level up here at 738. All right, loading up on more coffee. Energy meter is going up. Good morning, all you early birds. And let me know how the audio's going. Anything, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about this market. Let me know what you think about the Qs. All right, let's see. Can you look at TSCO? Yeah, we can get into that. Marvell and Lumentum. I've been reading the next bottleneck is optical technologies. Okay, so that's something I have not looked into, and that interests me actually. Burry is sweating. I think Bar Shosef, is that how you pronounce your name? Burry. So here's the thing that a lot of people do not get about Burry is that he can take a heck of a lot more pain than any of us can. He has supposedly more capital and he can, play things out on a bigger time frame. unless things go seriously wrong against him. But uh, I would imagine that he would be out of most of his positions right now. I'm not part of his Substack, uh, but I heard his Substack is doing really freaking well right now after that call he made. So I don't know. He must be unloading. That's just not based off of headlines, based off of just general like trading mentality. If you've locked in such a crazy move, you're going to be locking in profits. Could he have some more shorts? Yeah, he could have some more shorts going, but doesn't mean that he's going to nail all his trades. I don't know anybody that nails 100% of their trades. Nobody. Nobody. Not even an algo. It's the crazy thing about this markets, and what makes it so interesting and exciting is no matter how smart you think you are, you can always be proven wrong, but it's a crazy blood sport. But you get it, you get good at it, you learn to survive. Something we talk about in Discord every day is survival first. Sorry if that was loud. Survival first, profit second. Why? Because if you survive long enough, if you survive long enough, you're gonna make the money eventually. Sir Patrick is saying I'm wrong 100% of the time. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe start doing the opposite of what you're doing, and you'll be right 100% of the time. But all joking aside, that's just human psychology. The market preys on human psychology. I can give I can give you a book on I can give you some of the best books on trading and the market. And I started out with books and stuff, and yeah, I learned some setups, but in the real world, once the psychology kicks in, it just everything falls apart. So yeah, protect your capital, protect your psychology, protect your mindset, that is, and survival first, profits will come. Uh, and if you're new here, as you can see, we're very focused on just like you know trader growth. What else is going on, everybody? We got some requests here. Let's take them one at a time so I don't miss any. We got a couple that came in. Leslie Chong is asking about Microsoft. Okay, let's take a look at Microsoft. This one is wow. So you're asking me about Microsoft. It depends on where are you looking to enter here? Are you in position already? It can matter a lot. So here's what I think. Uh, Similar to the Amazon move, yeah, we're getting like crazy blowout moves here. Earnings are really impressing, but I'm not comfortable with these gaps we're leaving behind. I am really not comfortable with these. I am, comfortable saying that I think Microsoft could shoot up pretty high and go up and test the highs, but what's going to happen with these gaps? We're eventually going to get a wave of profit taking, and we could be heading up much higher and then come crashing down before we stabilize. That's usually what happens. You don't see, you don't typically see a move like this just continuing straight up like that. Gravity kicks in eventually, right? So let's see here. Just expanding the volume profile, anchored volume profile area here a bit. And this is the area where you get a bit of resistance, and it lines up nicely with this resistance area here on the chart. So you got a little bit to the upside here, and then things might get rolling over. But also at the same time, it's already starting to fade, so proceed with caution. A lot of momentum. I think it breaks through, but uh, depending on where your entry is going to be. It's a crazy one. This one might make for an interesting day trades because how crazy it's going to be moving. I think the volatility will continue. Also, similar story here. Amazon is pre-market here, and I know some people were dying to short this, myself included. I tried to short it here uh, intraday, and then I decided, nah, I'm not going to hold through the next day. Just quick attempt at fading it, and it didn't work out. Uh, but today this is this is an area to watch here where we're stopping at 277. So this is obviously our previous high from compared to this one. And then now you got a support area here. So the reason I had this 282, this is a fib extension level. So I'm going to take that off. It's already tagged it. And this was, I believe, the most extended move up here. Now, was this a fib extension? I don't quite recall. These were probably fib extensions off of this previous move, so we could probably ignore those, but just general areas where it could possibly stall. And we stalled above here right before the 490. Let's see if it comes back down here, holds. It is already down there actually, so this, all right, thinking out loud here, bear with me. This is what I'm thinking, okay? If this begins to bounce off the open, that could set up a long, right? But if it begins to break to the downside, and I'd be okay with it breaking to the downside, filling the gap, and then popping back up, that would be the best look here. Like if you had candle like this, and then a nice long, that's terrible. Sorry, guys. Nice long wick like that. That way it would tell you that we had buyers stepping in here and carried it back up. That would be really good to see. So that could set up a long. Would I short this? It's going to be crazy to short this. It could snap down and snap back up. So best of luck to you trying to short Amazon or trying to short Microsoft. I would rather wait for the pullbacks, let the gap fill, get back in long, and let it do its thing. All right, let's go back to chat here and see how everybody's doing. Leslie, you'd love Malaysia. Definitely, I'll check it out. I got a couple, at some point when, life allows it. I've traveled, a couple years ago, started traveling a couple spots in Asia. I want to start exploring more. Malaysia on the list, and probably want to do Hong Kong as well. I'm wondering why you are not using 24-hour charts. There are so many gaps. Yes, you are right. It's just laziness. Referring to like the let's see, let's flip over. Let's see if all right, guys, just a moment here, and all right, we're back. Going through the comments, sorry, got distracted here for a second. Let's see. Somebody was asking about Chinese photonics, and do you have any specific companies you're referring to, or what they're impacting here? Thoughts on AMD going into earnings this afternoon? Yeah, AMD is going to be a big market mover here. And we are up to about 514. Let's see where this goes. Again, got this resistance area here. Could fade or could break out. Would I take this before earnings? Probably not, unless you have a very, very strong reason to, and you have a thesis about their earnings and where they're going, which I do not. And sometimes your thesis can be right, but then the market doesn't like the outcome. It fails to impress, and then it rolls over. Now, comparing AMD to, let's say, NVIDIA or so, or any other, chip name, we had a 186% run up from April. So, is the market going to decide to sell off AMD if they decide that earnings are not good enough? Good is sometimes not good enough for the market. You get this big fade here. And this, we got kind of like a channel. It's a sloppy channel. It's very, expanding here, and you don't know how this is going to go. It could come back down very violently. I'm personally staying away from AMD, but after earnings, it's fair game. Let the dust settle and figure out what you want to do. And an example of that is Amazon. Even though I was in on Amazon earnings because it was a longer term trade, um, even after the initial pop, off the open, it continued going up, right? So you can still get in post earnings and still make some cash. Jonathan Shink. Caterpillar just crushed earnings. That was off my radar. A lot to track here. That is, oh boy. Yeah, I wanted so bad to pick up some Caterpillar, but the trend was not good. This was a very, very ugly trend, and I was like, I'm not sure. And even though we did find a base here, even though we did find that base there, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to go down. But, well, if Burry's holding Caterpillar this morning, he's not having a good day. He was talking about how he, really wanted to stay short on Caterpillar. I don't think he unloaded, or I don't think he stated that he unloaded any, but yeah, this is a big short squeeze, and it could take us up higher today. I wouldn't be surprised if we get up to 971-ish, right? So that's Caterpillar for you. Burry will be happy. He'll be very happy. He's still shorting it. Okay. Well, let's take a quick look at crypto here. Looking really sad, but crypto's having such a rough time. But I believe it's bottomed at least. It has bottomed. The question is, where are the buyers? And this might be the stage where everybody has tossed in the towel, or like really everybody has tossed in the towel, and that's when buyers start coming in. We'll see. And then let's put a trend line down here, and you can see that we are kind of like in this wedge here. So could go down a bit more, but I doubt it because we've already tagged this level one, two, three times. So if we can get a move up here, I think it's going to start. Let's see, especially if the market starts ripping and this, I don't know if this around situation is going to cool down. I hope it does. I'm sick of it. Ethereum, kind of like stuck below this trend line as well. Solana is in this descending wedge and I'm waiting for this to break out. I've been holding this one for too long and I'm, really want to get out of this one, but we'll see. I think this is a likely the bottom area and we'll probably start shooting up. I have the SOLT ETF. And let's go back to the Qs here. Still holding at that point of control. Bitdeer up on a deal. Gonna be watching CLSK. What's the ticker for Bitdeer? Not sure. Let's see. NOK. Welcome T-Bass. NOK Nokia. Sorry if I missed it earlier. Nice move up yesterday and again in the pre-market. I've been watching Nokia, but I think it recovers. But I'm not liking. Oh, today is a different story. This changes things a lot. And why did this bounce? Was there news? I wanted to pick it up yesterday, but the problem is here you can see that we had a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, again and again, right? So logically, you'd be leaning to the downside. But I wanted to give it a day or two, see if it would form a base here and go back up. It decided to shoot straight up to resistance. So uh, I think I would wait for some kind of pullback midday if you want to try the long. Heck, I might even consider it, but I'm still cautious. Market is ripping, shorts are getting squeezed to death. The bears are sweating hard, and it, it's eventually going to settle and come back down. But the momentum is real right now. You can't deny that. And if you had a short bias on the market, and you just got to know that you're wrong and just move on. And you also at the same time, don't get FOMO in this market. One headline can turn this all to a big mess again. But the bright side is we have earnings to back up capex right now, and that's what Wall Street wanted to see, right? We have we have companies have good reason to be spending, you know, I'm not going to say all this money because a lot of companies are overspending, but the spending is at least justified in that sense. And let's take a look here at Lemonade. This one came up in our Discord. And if you are looking for a Discord community or just, a place to chill out, meet other people that are trading in this market, and pick up some new skills, make some friends along the way, check out the link to our Discord community in the description. Also, summer sale, $30 off. All right, everybody. All right, let's talk about Lemonade here. I'm going to close this here so you can see a bit more. We got this area down here of support, and we tagged it once, twice, three. You can count this as well, 4 times. Very solid support area. And if you got in early on this trade, I think the ideal time to have gotten in on this trade was probably yesterday, as it was starting to break through this $51 area, and man, it held. So I don't think it's too late to get in on Lemonade, but if you got an early entry, you're doing pretty well. Here's what I see is if we get some kind of pullback here, back to support to verify that we do still have support here, then it's back up to fill this gap, right? Now, the support, where do I get the support here is from the left side. Scroll over here, you got these 1, 2, and then you got this area here. So as long as we are holding above this support, I'm long. No position, but I'm going to consider it today, see what the options look like, and see how this move plays out. If it just starts pumping, maybe worth chasing. And let's talk about Sir Snowflake. I got it right this time. I've been calling it ServiceNow the whole time, but I got it right this time. Snowflake. I don't know. I don't know why my brain glitches out when it sees S now. I think it makes me think of ServiceNow. But looking here at Snowflake, colossal run to the upside. Colossal run to the upside. But we are above this trend line. So watching it closely here, not trying to chase. It's a pretty crazy move, but if it falls below, then this could be coming down to fill this gap, could set up a short for us. Okay. However, if it starts forming a base here, starts working its way up, then we could see something constructive here that will take us back up to the highs. Switch over to the weekly here so you can see through my scribbles. That is absolutely terrible. But let's do this again right here. All right. That's almost got me there. Snowflake. Okay. Let's see what's next. What's going on in chat? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, early birds and not so early birds. If you're just joining us, we are breaking down the market live here. And let me know in the chat what you think is going to happen next. Let me know what you're looking at. Let me know where you're tuning in from. All right. Dom Yorker, good morning. Thank you. Andrew Plus. Andrew. So this is Andrew Plus, not just Andrew. It's Andrew Plus. BTDR. Okay. So this is actually, I think, a pretty awesome example to show you how to use anchored volume profile here. When you have a crazy range like this and you want to figure out where the trading where most of the trading happened, right? Let's just put down the range here. Even go like that. And if you want to know where the most trading happened, if you can't spot it, I mean, I can tell it's probably happening around here. That's why we stopped there. But you could drop this anchored volume profile right on the chart. Okay. And it's going to show you that we got two areas here. We got this area right here where this is our point of control, where the most trading happened at about this $10.66 area. That acts as support. We wicked right below it, and now we're bouncing, right? That is very, very constructive in my opinion. Now the question is, where is our next resistance? We got resistance here, right where we stopped at 1281. You'll see you got this node right there. And if we can break through this area right here, I'm going to place my alert, maybe even bring it a bit higher, like that. If we can break clean of this area, then we could target about $18 up here, right? See here how this volume profile, this high volume area here matches up with this resistance area. And back here, some of these candles use this as support. And if we go over to the left side, right here, broke through it, came back up to it as support. So this is a valid area at about $18. And I think from here, upside, ooh, wow, that is a lot of headroom. Downside 11%. That's like a 4-to-1 trade. That is spectacular. If if Bitdeer, I don't know what's happening with the company. Oh, they got earnings on the 10th. Hmm. Now you got me wondering if I want to try to, if I just want to pick some up before now, like today, and let it ride into earnings. Like try and trim some off before earnings if I make any profit, and then maybe hold on a little bit or exit. Oh, it's up. Yeah, it's up 11%. It's a nice gap here. Wait and see. Wait for it first to fill this gap, and I'd wait for it to fill this gap and see if it's going to break through or not. I think a lot of gaps are going to be filled this morning. Everything is gapping to the upside, except Apple, of course, having a bad day here. Well, bad week so far. Question here is, do we short Apple or do we long it to fill the gap? Being patient on this one. If market continues to rip, this one is going up to fill the gap. If market fades, and I know this sounds silly, but yeah, up or down, right? But if the market fades, I think Apple would be a good short. That's why I'm bringing this up, because it is showing weakness still, even on a green day like yesterday, even on a green day like today. So you got to look at the relative strength or relative weakness to the market. And Apple's showing weakness right now after that colossal run up to the upside. All right, morning coffee, morning coffee. Keep this show rolling. This is what I get for messing up my sleep cycle and waking up too early. You get a show that starts at 7 a.m. Oh my gosh. But it's fun hanging out with everybody here, getting your questions and getting your opinions on the market. Apple's AI is bad. Mike, what AI? What AI does Apple have? The new and improved Siri? I don't know. I'm not much. I mean, not really. I have a Mac, but tell me what. I haven't used any of their AI features. And as crazy as it sounds, I prefer to use Samsung phones, but I also have lots of Samsung products. Apple is not working on AI. Yeah, I think that's. I don't know if they're not working on AI or if they just figured out that the expenditure is going to be so enormous they decided to. I haven't followed up in a while. I think it's using Google's. Was it Google's Gemini? I don't remember. But I think now do they now have the new and improved Siri? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not following like the whole like small narratives on Apple. But let me know. I don't think they have anything going, but I think what they got going for them is they are not spending like other companies, and that's why it ran up to the upside. During the past, I guess like couple weeks, where a lot of stocks were getting squeezed bad because capex, and then Apple shows up. Their capex, I think, is not so bad because they're not overspending on AI and they're making profits, and this was the result. And then now the narrative has changed again. Now the narrative is capex is justified if there's growth, and we're seeing growth. You got Amazon, heck of a lot of growth there. And what else? Running out of steam here. Across the board, lots of companies doing okay in this market environment. All right, everybody. 8:30 here, and in case you're just tuning in, good morning and welcome to the show. Let me know down below in the comments where you're tuning in from, what stocks you're looking at, and what you think the market's going to do today. Let's get the conversation going. I don't like, I'm not a monologue kind of guy. I like to chat with people. So, not good at monologues anyway. TSCO, yeah, this one, I'm not sure if it was you that brought it up or somebody else a while back. And the answer is the same. We had a really nasty drop and we are stuck in a range. So, what I would do is trying to find the best air, get these lines right. So, it is right at resistance. Let me zoom in here and let's make it even better. Go into the 4-hour. Another sip of coffee here. And I'm going to be bouncing off the walls. You can rewind this video and see how I started off this video and how I am now. All right, TSCO. Here we go, breakdown. And then we're just chopping around here. And this time, though, a look at the momentum is a bit different compared to the past. This one was strong as well, but we got gap and go. And then now we're going again. So if it can break, and it looks like it wants to break, if I were a betting man, I would say it wants to break. But not much of a betting man, and I like to use alerts. When it breaks out, I'll take it. But here's what I always say breakout pullback is the highest probability you can go with. But if you got really good momentum to the upside, it's worth chasing. Volume is not too bad. Not too bad here. And look at the upside. Not sure why this company's down this much, but you got this gap up here. $44 would be in play. Here's where our seat volume profiles help you. Sneaky, sneaky. A little bit of resistance here at 38.39. So target 1, target 2, 22%. But that's if it breaks out. Now, the question is, how long is it going to take for it to get there? That's a whole different question. I also got a little bit of resistance here, about like 35-ish minor resistance. So there's your trade with all the levels, right? If you have a thesis that it can break to the upside. But for this to be a real reversal, you want to see big volume and you want to see a breakout with confirmation. Would I chase it here? Probably not. Maybe, I mean, you've asked me about it twice, so I assume you might have a little bit in this company. Worth a starter, but you don't know. It could chop for months. It could chop for months. That being said, I think it looks like it wants to break out. Nice gap and go. And I think did we talk Tesla? We talked SpaceX. Did we talk Tesla this morning? Not sure. Volume by price bars. Yeah. Yeah, anchored volume profile. Anchored volume profile just lets you drag it back and forth to the section that you want. Harry Bahaji. Harry Bahaji. Did I pronounce that right? I think it's a bit of profit taking and a bit of a pullback. Not sure which stock you're referring to. Let me know when you're commenting which stock you're referring to. Dollar ticker sign helps as well. AAOI pushing pre-market before earnings. Let's take a look. And if you're just joining us, good morning and welcome to the morning live stream. Let's take a look at AAOI, Applied Optoelectronics. Seems like I was looking at this the other day, and I don't know, it didn't make the list for me yet. A very constructive move here. Here's the deal. Let's put down a trend line right there. And we're up against resistance, but we have a very powerful move. A very powerful move. Let's take a switch back to the daily. And volume is healthy. It's trending upwards slightly. And if this continues picking up, then we might, yeah, I totally missed the pre-market line here. I need to up the brightness on my screen a bit. And now I can see everything nicely. All right. So yeah, we are gapping above. So same story to other stocks that we covered earlier. When you get above, when you gap above resistance, you could see a bit of a pullback to resist for a retest to just test that support, make sure it's solid. That's what the market loves to do. And sometimes it likes to do a little bit of stop loss hunting before it snaps back up. I would not be surprised if we see another round of that. The past 2 weeks, in my humble opinion, tinfoil hat theory stuff, it's really been just manipulation and messing with retail. It was like almost every, like, not every trade, but almost every trade, I would be like placing my stops right below, in a very safe area below support. And then it would just do this. It would come down, tag it, maybe even a little bit further just to piss me off, and then come back up again. And we saw a lot of that. It was frustrating, which is why I said, yeah, just protect your capital, size down on the trades. That way your account, if we get a big rollover in the market, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't typically panic sell thinking that the market's going to crash, because I'm always looking for that mean reversion play. No matter how ugly it is, I'm always looking for that snapback. And I called out mean reversion on this here, but it didn't work out for me. Why? Because the flush out was way too severe here on the 29th. This, I mean, if you see, once you see a candle like this, you got to really question what's happening in the market, right? Even if we're holding at support, because we could just go all the way down. So yeah, you gotta think about your account, think about how you're going to survive this market and how to grow the account. A big common newcomer mistake is they want to hit a certain dollar amount on their account. Even a lot of people, I mean, I even want to hit dollar numbers on my account, but once you start thinking of dollar numbers, you start trading more aggressively and taking risks you shouldn't be. So think of the long game. That's what I talk about every day. IWM looking stellar in my opinion, absolutely stellar. If I had to pick one of the indices to trade long, it would be IWM. Didn't think we'd get this momentum, but I think it's just getting started. I think we go up and tag 303. My hesitation to pick up IWM was, rates and the energy shock we're in. And I'm like, when are small caps gonna roll over hard? But they're doing okay. So up above this point of control, very, very constructive. Let's see, how much does that give us to the upside? Gives us only 2%. So like one of the main reasons I don't trade IWM, you do get big moves, but you just don't know when they're gonna come. A big move like this, we could be setting up for, you never know. Here was a really nasty pullback. Look at the move that followed. Pullback, look at the move that followed. So this could be setting up here to 303 plus. Let's speculate here a bit with some fib extensions. And let's go here bottom to top. And you can criticize my point placement all you want. So yeah, here's the first target 303, 307, and then if we got serious momentum up to that extended, that measured move up to the 1.0, and there you go. So if this breaks out, yeah, we could. This is very, very bullish scenario, and there's just too many variables right here. I'm trying not to make too many short-term bets right now because just turn on the headlines. Just turn on the headlines. It's not getting better. It's really not. I wish it would. But, you know, trying to be optimistic this morning. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. Photonics rising cause Trump, I assume, to ban Chinese data center devices. All photonics going way up. Okay, that's interesting. Jonathan, would you share some of the tickers you're looking at, and we can break it down together? Oh, AAOI is one of them. All right. So we got that. Let's see. Buying dips instead of shorting rips in this market. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that. Definitely agree with you on that. The only exception I might make is if we start hitting resistance areas and rejecting, and I'm still holding a ton of longs, I'm going to start hedging against it. But right now, the momentum is too strong to open up a short yet. You got to see some kind of rejection. Just buy the TQQQ today. Well, let's see, it's Gregory. What's up, Gregory? Depends on your time frame. So, like I was saying a couple minutes ago, there was a mean reversion play here, and wrong chart here. 2 RSI. Can read up on Connors, the Connors RSI mean reversion, and I typically sell here at about like 75. Buy it below 10, sell around 75. That's how I like to play it, and you got to look at the chart as well. But yeah, we came down a bit too strong, and I actually have a bit of an indicator that I have here on it. We'll show you that, you know, it just tells you to buy long off the open, close, you know, and then here it fell apart. But if you were persistent, and I know a lot of traders that were persistent and they were, you know, still buying in here, it was too scary for me. I'm like, this is unusual. Looking at the Kospi, looking at, you know, world events, everything, you got to be cautious sometimes to protect your account. But if this were just a normal dip in the markets off of just, you know, market being overbought and we're coming down for a mean reversion, then I would have been buying in heavy down here regardless. But it is what it is. The reason I'm bringing up this whole story is just to let you know that if you're new in these markets, this market is unusual, very volatile, and it could get worse. Let's take a look. Let's go back and put back my lines on. There you go. And let's see, questions, comments. How's everybody doing this morning? Only taking a very small position, sizes and scalping when we're at all-time highs. Still a midterm election year, expecting a good pullback before October. Yeah, we could. There is always a pullback. There's always a pullback. All right, Sir Patrick saying talks of a merger between AZN and BMY. I got a small long position for AZN yesterday. Let's take a look at AZN. Wow, this is a It's a crazy chart. What the heck is this? Is this is this some kind of glitch, or is this actually how it's trading? Weird. Very weird. Let's just draw the trend line here. And I gotta say, it's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know if these candles are very weird, unless this is just the way this company trades, but I'd say we're in a descending wedge here. I'd probably steer clear. Yeah, it's a glitch. Anyway, let's go up to SPY. We are right at the top here. Right at the top. Madness. Madness, I tell you. The Qs could be going up to do the same thing, but we need a couple pieces of the puzzle to all come together here. We need the global situation to ease up. We need to see that the yen is holding. We need to see yields coming down. We need to see energy coming down. All that happens, then yeah, we'll go up to 800, no problem. But I'm not that optimistic. I think at best we come up here, 737, chop around for a while. But I'm not even super optimistic yet, taking it day by day. We got our biggest hurdle here at 708. This is the make or break for the Qs. And I think it's going to take a bit of work to get through, but I could be wrong. We just got through a couple earnings, and we probably got a few more. And we're going to see what happens after this earnings season begins to settle down. That might be when we start getting a bit of profit taking before that final run into end of year, maybe like November, December. So yeah, that October thesis, yeah, it could hold up. We might get a run for another month or two and then see the pullback. Anybody's guess, but it's always fun to speculate on what could happen. I'm on London Stock Exchange. You need New York Stock Exchange. What am I looking at? All right, UAE, Dubai. How's it going? Nantucket mornings. Oh, for AZN. AZN. Oh, that, no. Wait, let's see. AZ. Oh, this is London Stock Exchange. You are absolutely right. And why is it not? Is it this one? I don't typically trade pharma stocks. I assume it's this one, right? Yeah. Man, this is crazy. Yeah, okay, this kind of makes sense here now. Being overextended, and this is all over the place. I can't even verify that this is a... No, this is wrong. This trend line is wrong. This is where we are. There we go. So yeah, I see why you'd want to get in here. We got this bottom of the channel. Yeah. Yeah, and we had what looks here like, oh, this is capitulation here. Look at that volume candle. Yeah. I totally see your point now. Yeah, this is worth a shot, and you got, I like that you got this gap here. So you could target that breakout off the bottom of the channel, but I would be scaling out. If you can grab a couple percent, well, that's 10%. That's sweet. if you can grab like 10% off of this, I personally would be scaling out and then leave a little bit on to see if it can come up here, fill the gap, and actually give us a reversal. Now, zooming out on this chart long term, yeah, we got the big move, we got the big consolidation, and we're heading back up likely, but we need this support area to hold right here. Yeah, Vlan saying Astra looks scary a little bit, but once you kind of like break it down a bit, it's not so bad. We're in a channel. Tim Lee yesterday still calling for big drawdown after this pop, unless I misunderstood him. Okay. Good afternoon from Dubai. All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. If you're just joining us here, welcome, welcome. We're breaking down the market live here, so let me know down in the comments what ticker you want to have analyzed, what you think is happening with this market, what you're looking for today. Let me know where you're tuning in from as well. Okay, we're going to continue our breakdown here. Let's see. What else do we have on the watch list? We can circle back to HPE here for people that have just joined us. And this one, and in Discord, we were discussing this, that, we had this area here. It's ascending wedge right there. And even, you can disregard this crazy blow off top and just look at what's been happening here. So I figured buy off the dip. And that way, if you need to stop out, you're closer to the stop and you can, limit your risk. And yesterday, switch over to the 5-minute. Bought on the opening, bought on the dip. Wait, is this just the wrong day? Let's see. There you go. So we started here. We had the dip right off the morning, and that's where I picked some up. And I was like, okay, if it comes back down a little bit more to the trend line, that's okay. No problem, but starting off small, and then it started curling up pretty fast. That's when I added into the position. It came back up here. You'll see that we had this. We came up, we kind of like hooked on to this point of control here twice, and then we found a base, and then we started moving. So today, we're up at about 52 bucks, so it's looking good. Looking for more continuation on this trade here, up to about 50, 54, very close to my target. We'll see what we're going to do with this one. See, Palantir here is still looking strong and going. And SanDisk still trapped in that area, and we got earnings. All right. I think I'm through my list. We started this pretty early. So let me know in the comments what you're looking at here, as we got about a little over 30 minutes to the open. All right, let's take a look at Marvell here. So this was something I was trying to trade away a while back, but it was just ugly, ugly, ugly. Here we go. Let's just get the EMAs down here. Here's the deal. You got EMAs crossing over. It's still in a downtrend until we, today, if this move holds, then maybe things are starting to change up a bit. So yeah, we got this area here where we're just chopping down, and then it came We tried to break up, we came back for a retest, and then it's starting to bounce back up again. Worth a shot, yeah, in my opinion. Let's see. Or we can place our stop here. Stops would be under this area here, because it could always do this, come back for a retest before it comes up to fill this area here at about 240. So is it worth chasing? Yeah, probably worth starting something in this, but you got to know that you could have a bit more downside here, and it could pull back against you. But, you know, that being said, the clear change of character here on Marvell. So we'll see where this one goes. And just keeping an eye on the Kospi here. We all know that, you know, Kospi is like loaded with the semi companies that have the semis in them, and it's trading like a penny stock. This is probably the most volatile index in the world right now. And I was reading a headline that were saying that the Kospi even surpasses the volatility of Bitcoin. Tells you a lot about how crazy things are going over there, and it must really suck to have your money. You know, if you're living in Korea and you have most of your money in that market, it would be just devastating. Now, I want you to look at this candle right here. Let me delete this. And you got this candle here where we kind of just barely peaked up. We peaked up once, peaked up twice. This time buyers are stepping in. So is the Kospi going to start moving up here? Yeah, possibly. And if it does, it's good. I think everything is just so interconnected. If this stays down, we'll likely hold down markets. But it's looking like it could be, this is an area where we could get a bit of a reversal. How far up is anybody's guess. Probably rests on the fate of memory chips, all the memory names. If all the memory names are doing, this is probably going to get a pop. If not, it's going to get much uglier. Let's see, and of course, keep an eye on oil today. Oil, wow. That is, you know, unexpected that it would drop this much, but this is good for markets, especially if we come down below this trend line. That would be, yesterday I was debating whether I should start buying oil companies again off of yesterday's pullback, because we don't know if the situation's going to end or not. And yeah, considering that we are down here, we could get a pop, but if it falls through below $77, that's going to be, yeah, the market's going to love this fuel. It's going to love it, but we're not there yet. It's, right now it's just hopium. So let's take a look at some oil companies. Now I had Exxon on the list here, as you can see. I was thinking of buying this off the trend line, off of here, off of the first pullback we get, and this might be the pullback that I want to get in on. We got the 21 and the 50 coming up here, so keep an eye on Exxon. And there's also, I think Oxy as well. Apparently I got it on my list. I got too many things on my list. And Oxy, it has earnings coming up on the 5th. That's the only reason I waited it out. But I like Oxy here because we got more headroom to the upside than Exxon, in my opinion. And you got other names like Valero that are just sky high. Let's see, what is Valero? Is it VO? No, it's not. Valero. There we go. I got it the first time. Yeah, Valero as well, looking for, it's pulling back, but this is more, I guess, more momentum play. So I'm gonna decide if I want to pick up one of these names today, just in case. I just want to balance things out. We get oil starting to move up again. We get the Nasdaq starting to pull back. You want something to balance out the portfolio. And I'm talking about your trading, like your swing trading. I'm not talking about investing, but investing as well. It applies, especially in investing. You want to have some kind of hedges in there, whether it be gold or just diversifying into different sectors. All right, let's continue here with the chart breakdown. Here's one on my list as well, EQT. And let's see what this one, see what the market cap is. This one's a pretty small market cap, but it's looking strong here, and it's held up pretty well during the recent pullback in the market. So if we can get above this 53 area, I think we can unlock up to 58 here. A little bit more of a slow mover, but if you zoom out and you're trying to look for something that you can just, scalp back and forth here, or, swing trade back and forth. This has just been going back and forth in this zone. I know there's a lot going on in the chart, but you can see the range that we've been trading in. And down here, this area looks attractive. I don't think we need all these lines. Clean this up a bit. And there we are. And Adobe today not doing so well. I sat on my hands. I really wanted to get in on Adobe, but I was like, okay, maybe I'll be chasing if I get in here. We did have breakout, pullback for retest, and then now we're just chopping. So it seems that we're stuck in this area here. Now, what is this area? We got, when you zoom out, you'll see how I got this. First off, you got this channel here. And aside from the channel, you got this breakout here. You got this trend line at the top. So you got two trends happening at the same time. So we're stuck here right below, but we are breaking out of the channel. So it's early bullish sign for Adobe. The question is, are we going to get enough volume and enough buyers to push this up? And so far, it's been sitting down here. We'll see. Maybe this could set up a long off the open here for a bit of a bounce. That's still a decent range, about 7%, as long as it doesn't break down below this previous point right here. So this one may be for a quick pop. Keep this on the radar. And I think we covered Broadcom earlier. Looking really well, looking really good here. Just need to see this come back here, hold this area, and then it's off to the top. No dividend on Adobe makes it uninteresting. Yeah, well, how much was the dividend to begin with? I mean, when you're buying a stock at such a discount, I don't think dividends matter, because if you're buying it for a recovery, your thesis is on the recovery. Dividends add extra, add a little extra, but if you're looking for a 10, 20% recovery, no dividend's going to match that. Yeah, Adobe's recovery is anybody's guess. They did have Some really good, I think, decent news that the market popped off of was they bought this AI suite of applications that is Topaz, which I actually use. I'm sure a lot of people use Topaz, and that gives them a little bit more, leverage in the AI generation space. But they got heavy competition in that area. But the Topaz suite is pretty decent, and we'll see if they can make some good use of it. Let's see, what is TTE? And let's see, what were you saying about TTE? That is, you like it because Europe is lacking in oil. Well, yeah, I mean, energy, the whole energy crisis thing is global, but yeah, it's looking strong. It came up against this resistance and it went right through it. Came up, had a pullback, and it's going sideways now. So just see here how structure continues to build. Do we start pulling back down here against these EMAs, or as we see these EMAs start catching up here, do you see like a bit of a reaction off of here? But it seems to be, it's held how many sessions here? So I think it's looking okay for now. But there you go. There's your overhead resistance. A lot of volume here overhead. So, if we've broken above here 3, 4 times, but it's faded every single time. So maybe think of it this way. Let's do, you kind of got like a range going on here. And you're back up in the bottom of the range. So yeah, this is good. This is constructive. You got up here, you're back at the bottom of the range, but you got a bit of resistance overhead. And if it starts breaking through, I think it's worth a shot off the bottom. And if it breaks below, then see you later. If it goes up, fantastic. And Palantir is still pumping up. My gosh, 16%. Topaz works in Lightroom nicely. That's good to hear. Um, I used to use Adobe products, mainly like Photoshop and, for photography and just, uh, when the new image generation tools came out, especially for like stuff I, wanted to use for YouTube, then I started experimenting with Midjourney and all the other stuff, which is, just uh, whatever they have built in, whatever it's called in Photoshop right now for like expanding images and adding details. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. So maybe this will. Maybe I'll try out Photoshop again. I'm kind of tired of using Canva. It's just too basic. Anyway, back to, let's talk about, I got some questions about metals from Andrew Plus. Palladium and metals having a pop, okay. Gemini, what about WTI, USO, and... All right, give me a ticker, guys. Tell me what you're looking at. Let's take a look at oil here. Oil is still, we just covered oil. It's dropping pretty nicely here, and we got this trend line. So either a bounce or a break. I'm leaning towards bounce here, which is why we're going to add ExxonMobil to the list. I have it on my list. Where is it? I got it somewhere. Anyways. Yeah, possibly on Exxon. Possibly thinking maybe 160 calls. And give us a nice 5%. You, Brett Carey, put a put on all. Put a put on all, what, like all of the market? And you were up late last night? I'm sorry to hear that. Well, we break down the markets here pretty much daily. Not on YouTube every day, but in Discord. So check out the link down below. We, come make some friends, come discuss your theories about the market, and see if you can learn a skill or two that can help you. And we're all growing here. We're all learning, myself included. And that's, what we founded the community on, is just, a group of people helping each other out and growing together. What's up, Anita from Australia? I bought Palantir a few days ago. I feel crazy not to take those profits. Okay. I'm not sure if I understand if you're still holding. If you're still holding, awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you are still holding. Okay, let's take a look at Palantir again. Where are we on Palantir? So here's how I see it on Palantir. We still got a little bit more headroom to the top here. And of course, with any gapper right off the morning here at resistance, we could see a bit of a pullback before we get the pop. Doesn't always happen. It could continue to the upside, like we saw with Amazon and like we saw with Microsoft. But I think Palantir here is looking pretty good. I had some calls on Palantir, but it just took too long and I had to get out. I got out off the rebound, a little bit of a rebound here. Yeah, I wish I'd held, but I decided to move on to better plays because this was just stuck here. It was not looking pretty. And now we've had that big short squeeze, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to squeeze up to 158. And of course, if you catch a big move like this, 15%, oh my gosh, it's still going 16%. Yeah, it makes sense to scale out. Absolutely. I do think we come up to 159. Could be wrong. We'll see. We'll check back. We'll check back on this in a couple days, see where it's heading. All right, everybody. A little over 15 minutes to the open here. And let's see if you got any more questions, any more ideas about this market. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know where you're tuning in from. All right, Avina asking for Poet. And Poet was on my watch list more than a week back. And what I was saying is we got this wedge here, a really long-term wedge, and depends on how it acts when it breaks out. And, it came up here, it faked us out a bit, but it showed weakness. What I was saying is as always, you get a breakout, you want that retest to hold, and you want it to move up. That retest did not hold. We started coming back down, and right now we got a bit of a bounce in the pre-market, but is this the bottom? Possibly. Possibly, but it's too early to confirm, in my opinion. I would wait to see how this plays out today, could come back up that could come back down to 766, or it could just start rallying up into the next earnings, which is not that far off. Yeah, especially hyped up names like Poet. Let's see, they tend. Well, we had some nice run ups after this earnings. This earnings was an absolute blow off top. So we'll see. I think this gets a bit of a run up to earnings, possibly 1069. I had it back on my watch list, but I don't think that it's a little early to jump in here, if you ask me. What's up, Mark? Welcome to the chat and welcome to the morning live stream. And Brett Carey saying that he had a put on Apple and was down about 500 and was on the phone with Schwab agent trying to get it corrected. What's up with that? Yeah, it sucks when you can't close out a position. I remember, like, was it last year or the year before when, it was the year before? I don't remember how many years ago it was, but when we had multiple brokerages go down when the market was melting down, and I had puts and I couldn't close them. I was absolutely livid, and I tried calling them and the phone lines were down. I'm like, okay. But it was several major brokerages at the time. It was a TD and a couple others. All right, and we're just chilling here to the open. We've gone through quite a few stocks here. If you think you got any ideas for plays, let me know in the chat and we can break it all down together. Also, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you check out our Discord community. All right, did we get the jobs data? We have jobs data this morning, don't we? Let's see if we can pull up. And I just want to bring your attention to kind of like the difference between the Qs and the futures. On the Qs, we're breaking out. Let's see. I may have different trend lines. We got another trend line here as well. A lot going on where things could stall. Since we've broken out of this one, I'm going to take this one off here and then have a possible trend line here. We'll see how this acts. You can see this pretty clearly here on the futures. So careful here. This may be a point where we either reject or, or break through. So far, the futures, we got a very, very powerful V-shaped recovery here. So it would be a little bit difficult to bet against it, but we'll probably figure out if we're going to break through this or not once we get through the next earnings. With the, I believe, SanDisk coming up. So that might be the next mover. Question is, how much steam does this market have to get through that area? And semis today. We are up at the top of this channel. We've actually broken out today. And the question is, are we going to fade down, back down, or we're going to hold here? So we got a lot of charts looking the same this morning, and we're going to take it one step at a time, see how it acts. The equal weight here, doing pretty well. So take a look at that HPE play, still pushing to the upside. And like I said, we got some more room up to 55. And I had a trigger on oil, an alert. I had my alert set here to see if oil was starting to dip below. I had another one. Because if oil begins rolling over hard, that's going to be major fuel. However, I'm not sure why oil is continuing to drop because we don't really have, complete resolution to the issue. All right, maybe this is what it is. Qatar said a draft proposal aimed at restarting negotiations has been circulated between the parties, though no agreement has been reached. The Gulf state, a key mediator between Washington and Tehran, said efforts remain focused on securing short-term solution to prevent further escalation. So there are talks going, and that's about it. And oil's down after Trump delayed military action. But other headlines I saw today, sound a little bit different. Like, sounds that Iran does not want to yield to this, but they want the control of the strait. So, regardless of what the headlines say, just keeping an eye on what oil does. But right now, oil is dropping, down 5% in a day. So, all right, 8 minutes to the open. So let me know down in the comments what you're all looking at. We're down to Brett Carey. Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the morning live stream. We're down to 17 million barrels in SPR. They're literally hosing out to float reserve. Yeah. So you can load up on oil companies. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for confirming my thesis a bit more. I don't know much about water and salt damaging chambers. I'm not sure what that's about, but all right, it looks like I missed one. Fortinet, Boy Scout films from South Africa. All right, this one has been a hot one, and I was going to pull the trigger on this one. I'm just not sure. It's looking powerful. I'm just questioning if this can actually have a big breakout after this big run. But it looks like after this consolidation, if, don't know too much about the company, but it's a valid play long here, in my opinion, as long as it holds that 21. I ideally want to see these EMAs moving up like this in a 45-degree angle. And, we had a bit of a pullback here, which is why it's, moving like that. But yeah, worth a shot long and add on the breakout. So yeah, I'll add that to the list and we'll revisit this one. Gold is going up. Let's take a look at gold. So I had GLD on the watch list here. However, we've been stuck in a sideways like pattern here, and I was like, I don't want to buy any like options on this, but because it could just go sideways for a while. I want to see a nice reaction here. I'm surprised that gold has not gone up yet, but as long as we're below this long-term trend line here, I think gold is just going sideways. It could go sideways here, and then eventually you might see the move up and start hugging this trend line. We got but we got a nice amount of headroom here, but so far it's still holding. I wouldn't say it's going up, it's chopping sideways. All right, everybody, 4 minutes to the open. All right, and we're actually pushing. We're actually pushing higher into the open. Pretty interesting. It's going to be an interesting day. See how this ends up here. But if I were to bet on anything, I'm going to bet that we're going to have a crazy, crazy day today. It's going to whipsaw quite a bit until it figures out if it can actually break or reject temporarily off of this level. All right, AIRJ. Let's take a look at that. We got less than 3 minutes. Pretty strong move here. Well, the first question I want to ask is why is this stock down so much? And then once you answer that question, yeah, I mean, this is looking like it has a nice base here to work off of. Nice clean double bottom here, a little bit of a pullback and a move. So yeah, I think this is worth maybe a starter if, and we got volume here. Volume is looking nice. I like this chart. Let's see. Where's our next target up here? And yeah, roughly like 676. You got some nice upside here. 30% to the upside, but if you pull back to the trend line, you got like 30, 37. We're back to support 23. So it's a volatile one. So you gotta wanna size appropriately because the swings can be pretty crazy here. And Amazon here is dropping in the pre-market, down 3%, coming down to fill that gap. Thinking of going long on SOXL. I'd wait for the pullback personally. Is HP worth a shot? We're already in HP from quite a bit, just like, well, actually not quite a bit yesterday, and it ran up nicely. All right, everybody, the market is open. Thank you for joining us for this morning live stream. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates, and check out the link to our Discord community down in the comments. Take care, everybody. I will keep you updated throughout the course of the rest of this week. Peace.